So we got Josh. I know how much you guys love Josh. He put out a new video about FOMO from one of his streams as of 12 hours ago. FOMO for new games that need to stop. Let hear the man opinion, and you know, a 9-minute video gonna turn into an hour-long video for me. But nonetheless, let's do it, chat. As soon as Ply tell us what's going on in Ply head
you are
right
not
now.
the best bunny girl.
I could be.
That is blasphemy. Heresy.
Second best.
Rubbish.
Second
Trash.
best.
Lies.
How about that?
Scams.
Will you give me second best?
Misinformation. Disinformation. Rabble.
Would you give
Rubble. Now.
Elite?
Who is indeed the best bunny girl, Troy? Answer carefully, or
Fine,
I'm
it's
leaving for
Flan.
Josh Troy Mahal.
I'm getting ready to do a job video. It's Flan. Let's be honest. It's Flan. I'm second, maybe third, maybe fifth. Nonetheless, let's see. Wait.
I hope FOMO at the Troy Maconn channel stops one day. Podo's sad.
We don't do FOMO. As I look down to the Luna Pat, you can blame once again for the Luna Pat stuff. It all Sam and all Coon. They ate away at my morality enough to be like, fine, I will do a battle pass for the stream because Sam and Coon both demanded it. And you know, we don't deal with Sam, especially unmedicated Sam. We do not deal with that. We give Sam what she wants, and by proxy, I get Coon as well. So, you know, how else do you think Coon stay funded to buy his Magic the Gathering cards? But nonetheless, maybe one day, maybe it will end. Who knows? Maybe 2025 will be the year. Well, FOMO will end on the channel. We will see. Fine, and you plied. I know you put, but yes, fine. I know. Thank to the Luna Pass, some extra pennies might, you know, go into some lofter that may or may not fall through, you know, the holes in the floor, because, you know, I still live in a shack at the end of the day. So fine, you too, Pod, you too. Also, do we need to do a Bunny Gold tier list now? Is that what's happening? Is that what's happening after Josh? Probably.
2025 is the year. Indeed. The year Troy finishes the Final Fantasy Marathon. True story. Other
than the pin-up game, we're going to be done with the main line by January 4th of 2025. Speaking of FOMO and time limits, let's do it.
How do I move away from internet and FOMO and sit down and appreciate a game or movie? FOMO. Fear of missing out. When you say, how do you ignore the internet and FOMO? What exactly do you mean?
Okay, my advice, champ, is never look at anything online, ever, or just become insanely stressed about everything else in your life to the point that video game FOMO don't affect you anymore because you have other stress that taking it up. And then we turn going completely gray like someone in that dream. I'm just saying. It helps. Well, for me,
how do you enjoy a piece of media without that piece of media being tainted by other people's opinions of it first? How do you
stop having Flynn, chat? That's how you fix it. Stop having Flynn. Once again, what for me, chat?
You separate the cultural relevance of a piece of media from your own personal.
What we got, Pi?
Want a Bunny Girl tier list. This 9-minute Josh video will take 2 hours. Damn game.
No, and not gonna take 2 hours. Fine, while John is talking and you yield, I will find a Bunny Gold tier list. Will that make you happy?
Enjoyment of it. So here's an interesting question. I went into CEX recently, like a secondhand media store in the UK. And what I do is I browse the games. PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, that kind of stuff. When you were a kid, or when you were younger, did you ever go into a physical media store, like Game Station, Easy Games, whatever, and pick up a hard copy, a boxed copy of a game that you'd never heard of, that had no marketing, that was made by a relatively no-name company and just buy it and play it, and it was quite good. Like, it wasn't amazing, it wasn't rubbish, it was just
there are plenty of PS2 games like that.
There is a kind of middle class of games
feel like I
that exist.
Have a feeling.
Without a huge marketing budget, they...
What we got?
Do you have sex in America, Troy?
I'm pretty sure you did not mean do we have sex at Will. The answer is no, for the most part. Have you seen our boy? Wait, but we are really doing better than Japan. But nonetheless, I'm pretty sure that's not what you're meaning. I have honestly never heard of it. So, once again, as a shop. So, let me see.
Release, you grab it, you play it, and it's quite good. Like, it's a whelming game. It's decent, that kind of stuff. That is what I try and do with so many physical games now. Walk in, purchase a physical copy of a game, and then just have it. Or find a game on Steam that I've never heard of before, no marketing budget, and just play it. That is a really interesting one. So when
I honestly...
We have sex over here in the UK, Troy. Lots of sex. Lots. And lots of sex.
You do. This is what happens if you go following up in the UK and start hitting up Amsterdam and red light Detroit. The whole reason that is this, I guess. Good point. But no, we don't have it in the US.
If Shay Haulier from Arifaretu is not on that list, you are cancelled.
I didn't mind it.
Forever.
I did not make the list.
GG, well played.
I did not make it.
I'll grab the shovel myself.
I was the default list that popped up. I'm pretty sure there are better ones out there. But yeah, the whole thing Josh talking about here is like, I used to do that way more. I wanna say, like, especially during like the PS2 generation, I did it a lot because of like renting video games. Also, like, grocery stores and stuff that had, like, little area that they would rent up eventually. You know, they would just sell off, you know, the stuff they're not renting anymore to make room. Like, that how I played, like, Orphan back in the day. That how I played, like, not Wait. The freaking boat game I have talked about on Xbox. That was just Twitter Metal with boats.
Next week on Fantasy Star, the Scratch has a bunny girl outfit Troima 202.
Pride, and you know what to do, Pride. It's time to download Fantasy Star. You know what to do. Make sure you do it when I'm not streaming so don't fuck up the stream. But get on it, Pride. But yeah, there were a lot of PS2 games that was like that. It was like, oh, like $5. Or, you know, the neighbor kid would just steal it and then just leave it at my house for whatever reason. You know, either or. But yeah, I feel like I did that a little bit in the 360 generation, a little bit. Especially when we got in Extra Play when we were just at for review code for everything. And there was a lot of like one-off, like Xbox arcade games type deal that actually ended up not being like fantastic, but being overly enjoyable. Marlowe Briggs. Something detective, or like an example of that. I have so many core memory tied to that at Extra Play, and that game was literally like a $10, you know, just random release on 360. But obviously over the years I have moved away from that, but that had once again more to do with finance reasons than anything else. But yeah, I'm following what you're saying, Josh. Continue.
When you say, how do you...
Oh my God. Josh,
separate the
why you 140p?
Extremely vocal cultural relevance critique of games of the internet. I would say just treat it like a game that you are playing that you don't particularly care about. Because, unfortunately, video games have become this thing that we don't necessarily play as much anymore. Mm-hmm. Instead, we experience their cultural relevance through specific touchstones online, whether it's reviewers, whether it's rage baiters.
Yeah. God, I never even thought about it from that point. He is absolutely right about that. Like 100%. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, we had moments like that. Halo 2, you know, Modern Warfare 2, Skyrim, of like all the like bigger event and the zeitgeist around it. But yeah, like I feel like, yeah, like he white about that mainly because I feel like nowadays you either have that or hi Luna, or you have your like games that that people play for like 5-10 years plus, and it just like one or the other,
That only
no in
means
between.
one thing. You will. Oh,
God.
will indeed get your ass back to NGS by next week. You always want to keep daddy happy and money coming. If that's the case, you will. You must. You have to. Return to NGS and give me bunny girl outfit content. You. And only you. It must be you to return.
Kobe not
Home
gonna
is
do
waiting, Troy.
Kobe not
Stop
gonna do
fighting it. The poll the other day along with the people who've spoken. The poll, Troy. The poll. Don't forget it.
I forgot about the poll. You're not wrong. I forgot about that poll. God damn it. Don't worry. PSO will probably be in the wheel heel soon. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I will give it a look after that, Joe. Remind me when the video done. But other than making Pride happy, and then by proxy I get CM since I see you with that cowboy hat, Luna. But we now not just a cowboy hat. I just have decided to go with the cowboy hat and he put in a witch hat. But nonetheless, yeah, Josh is not wrong, Kill. And I really hate how he put that analogy in my head when I should have thought of an analogy. God damn you, Josh!
Whether it's angry people, whether it's YouTubers, Twitch streamers, all that kind of stuff. Sometimes video games, the enjoyment we get from them isn't even from playing the game.
Yeah,
it's
I agree.
from seeing the drama that exists
You guys
around
giving me
the
shit.
game. Anyone discovered that? I think recently we discovered it with either Concord or Veilguard. I've not played either of them yet.
I wouldn't even say them two. I would use. Okay, like my mind instantly went to not even Concord shit, because Concord was just sad. My mind went to like Devil Blade and Wukong, like the discussion that would be in Hab, like around that, like them two games. Because honestly, yeah, if you think about it, is as we have seen in general from some people out there, that the game itself is not the entertainment. The entertainment is the drama, the tweet, the back and forth, watching people fit fight each other, while pepper playing each other. And so much of the gaming community, especially when it comes to like social media, it literally Joey Pringle, and social media is the platform that YouTube be Joey Pringle stage. And that is the entertainment, not the product itself anymore. Fuck, man. Oh, God, that just got so depressing. God damn it, Josh.
Would I like Dragon Age Veilguard? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Played it yet.
I need to play a lot of Dragon Age.
I don't know. I haven't played it yet. Have I seen some out-of-context clips that look good? Yeah. And some out-of-context clips that look bad as well.
Every game, though.
I'm sure I will play it. Someone even messaged me saying, "Oh my God, are you going to review Veilguard?" I'm like, eventually, yeah. And they said, "What are you going to say?"
Same for me. I will eventually play it once I played out
kind of the
5
point
games.
of the review. I'm going to play it. I'm going to say good things about it. I'm going to say bad things about it. I'm going to say honest things about it. And then I'm going to move on, play another game.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm going to do.
Damn right, Josh.
Right now, I've actually got a Dragon Age Origins video being worked on. It's going to be about 2 hours long.
God damn it, I need to get on
It's
mine.
a full critique of Dragon Age Origins, which I thought was a
For
pretty
your
good
viewer,
game.
Josh.
It had issues, don't get me wrong, it's not perfect.
Yeah.
But Origins
game from the
was,
360
in general,
era.
very good.
So,
I
of
really
course, they're
enjoyed
going to
it.
have some
Yeah,
issues.
what are you going
All
to say
games
about
have
this game
issues.
you've not played? Peak journalism, without a doubt. But no, Origins was good.
So, like...
So basically in 10 years.
Yes, pretty much, T.I. How you doing, T.I.? Yeah, drop video will come out in 10 years, and then we will watch the video 10 years
That's
after
not
that.
every game. Wrong.
What do you mean?
Vagrant Story was flawless and perfect in every way. Along with Rule of Rose.
Hey,
Easy.
hey, I have tech document from you guys, especially you put a date otherwise. And CM is the biggest War Wolf fan. He and CM agree with us about the combat. Isn't that right, CM? But yeah, Dragon Age looks so plain. The thing is about like the Dragon Age stuff, it like for me is I tried playing Inquisition. And I just couldn't get into it because sadly I fell into the same trap that I know any to this day the community like don't fucking do that, which is, you know, don't try to do all the quests in every area before leaving, just play the story and then come back later if at all. But yeah, like for me, like Inquisition at the time very much I felt like, oh, this is an offline MMO, but like the bad MMOs, you know, the WoW clone style MMOs. So that's the reason I stopped playing it. But
Rule of Rose has the greatest combat of all time. And you killed Brown the dog.
I did
Troy.
not.
We'll never forget that Poro sad.
No, Brown is still alive. They walked off in the sunset. They are still alive. But yeah, like eventually we will try it. Because, you know, if we get cheap enough, and eventually I'm going to finally play through all the Dragon Age game, and we will find out. I'm not a monster. The dog is fine. I am convinced the dog is fine. We saw them walk off into the light. They are fine, Chad.
Good. There was a lot of choice, a lot of opening. It's dark. The story is dark, man. It really is. I'll tell you what,
why I'm very
one of my
interested
favourite lines in my review was, and I try not to shy away from the cultural relevance of a game, while at the same time not allowing the cultural relevance of the game to become the most important thing about it. The most important thing about a game is the game itself and how it plays. Dragon Age Origins approaches racism, sexism, bigotry in a really interesting way. It just has characters in there who are racist, sexist, and bigoted.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it does it. It's not going to say, hey, I'm going to make a social kind of commentary on this. It just has characters that are that. Because whether they grew up in a culture that values that...
Why here the one thing I'm a little like... not worry. I mean, could worry be the one way to put it. Is... Since I know the tone...
Brown is one of the main characters of Rule of Rose. He was Jennifer's pet Labrador retriever and her loyal companion. He was very protective of Jennifer, helping her throughout the game and was essentially her only true friend. Brown is also used as an important gameplay device. His sense of smell helps Jennifer find hidden items.
Speaking of what I was saying, my thing about Dragon Age, what Josh is talking about here, like going into the new one, is it seeming, from my understanding, the tone is a lot more chillful, I guess, kind of. I don't know how that shook out, like, long-term, because I know there could be just, you know, early game type stuff. But my only worry about, like, playing the Dragon Age series is, from my understanding, from what I did experience, of, like, the tone becoming, like, dark and more, not quite upbeat, but, like, I get more adventurous, you know, like D&D type adventurous, or whimsical, I guess be a better way to put it. So that would be my only worry about Dragon Age. But who knows? I could be 100% off base. I have no idea. We will find out eventually.
That they were raised in a way that has personal ramifications within that. They just have that. And you can take actions that appease them. You can take actions that anger them. But ultimately, you have to live with the consequences of the actions that you take based on their personal view of what you've done. And I really like that. I really like that. I love the fact that there are characters in the game that have specific beliefs, and you can choose to act in a way that vilifies those beliefs. You can choose to act in a way that will make them love you or make them hate you. But you then, and this is very important, you then have to live with the consequences of what you've done.
This is a Dragon Age video now, chat.
Most games, and that's what I dislike about more modern RPGs. Modern RPGs don't like letting you live with consequences if the actions you take are not agreed with.
I think honestly, chat, about this, to be totally honest here. Oh, yeah.
This right here is my favorite thing ever.
Thanks.
In the history of
why are you up there?
I think about this every day. I think about this all night
Shouldn't
long.
you be
I
downhill?
stay awake,
Why you
not
up?
sleeping, because I'm thinking about this.
Oh, I know why you up there. I know why. I never fixed that on this scene. Oops. Oops. It's fine. It fixed now. I fixed it. I just fixed it, chat. It's fine.
Scammed.
It no damn. I am trying to record a video right now for YouTube. This is why these videos are like 2 hours long, chat.
I like how Troy's trying to record a video and we've been making it as challenging as possible for him.
That why he'll thank to all the edit with the pause button. The reason why, if you're watching it over on YouTube after the fact, come on over twitch.tv/TroyMacon. Because the only thing you need to know about this dream is nothing but fucking goblins around here that just like...
Chat's organized here. They're organized to fucking torture me, okay?
All the love, Troy. All the love.
And my sanity. And my sanity. But... Anyway, yeah, what was the discussion? Oh, yeah, the discussion was about longer RPG. Hang on, what was that statement you said at one point? Let me see if I can find that, TI. That I wanted to comment on, and then chat started being chat. There it is. Okay, I found it. Damn it, chat. Come on over, twitch.tv/TroyMacon. But either way, doing the shenanigan, your statement, TI, I agree and disagree, but understand why no, not as many consequences. A lot of games are trying to be massive, super long
Not
event.
saying I agree or disagree, but I can understand why there are not as many consequences.
There we go. Thank you. I don't
A
have to
lot
read
of
it.
games are trying to be massive. Super long even.
I appreciate it.
Troy
TI.
must sexy and to be stuck with a choice for 100 hours doesn't sit right with some people. Not saying I agree, but I can. Maybe sort of see why.
I think the other part of that is like, yeah, that is one outlook. I don't know how strong that outlook is overall when it comes to like development. Because it's something we have seen all the time of how a lot of games, except for From Software, From Software is one of the few exceptions, and maybe some indie stuff out there. But when it comes to a lot of games, a lot of company, for whatever reason, publisher, developer, whatever.
I don't either. I was just spitballing.
Yeah, not like a bad idea though. Like, I agree, it probably sets some will in there for some of these companies. But on the other hand, I also kind of feel like outside of that reason, is the whole thing of a lot of studios and a lot of company want to put money into stuff, and a lot of company think it a waste of money if the player base don't see it or experience it. I know that start getting a little iffy once you start looking at the breakdowns of, you know, how many people play a game for more than like 3 hours. But I kind of feel like though, for the most part, a lot of game company kind of lean towards that. And the thing is, like, once you start bringing in the multiple choices and living with consequences, you know, you start doing the web of choices, you know, out from like a single point of when you start the game, it's so much more money, so much more planning, so much more skill. And I honestly think a lot of companies just do not want to do that. Might it be for financial reason, might it be a skill reason, might it be a talent reason, whatever it might be. And I think that was like the biggest tone, you know, changing. Because like, yeah, going into like the 360 era, you know, it was all about like, look how many choices you got. You know, you saw that with like the Telltale games, like what Josh is talking about right now with Dragon Age. With, you know, older games as well, with like distant endings and like Resident Evil, Silent Hill. Like, you know, games was like built upon that once, you know, once they started moving away from just being arcadey games. And then I feel like doing like the PS2 into the 360 era, it tried to double down on that. But the thing was, I think a lot of companies will like making that type of game wasn't financially doable, especially on the PS3 and 360 and 8D graphic stuff. For example, and why, most Japanese JRPG just kind of fell off a cliff and just stopped existing for the most part during that generation, and why a lot of them devs ended up just doing mobile game. Looking at you, bless the file. Like, don't get me wrong, there was like some good JRPGs out there during that generation, especially in the indie scene, or what would count as the indie scene at the time. But like, I think that was the other reason we started seeing a move away from that type of stuff. And I think nowadays it's just just straight up time budget reason and why we don't see that type of stuff. Because it's like probably some random person in like a group of, quote unquote think tanks that are just like, play the game, give an opinion type stuff. Focus groups, that's what I'm trying to think of, like focus group type stuff. How games are very much AAA built by focus group, outside of a few exceptions. And I think a lot of the people that take parts in that type of stuff just do not care about choices. So like, I feel like when I'm like constantly pulling in so many directions that just kind of stop that from being a thing. And also, I think also what kind of plays into that as well is a lot of PR forms and publishers and how much, marketing have into games, especially nowadays.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah. But like how much marketing impact games as well is, instead of making games like what Josh talking about like the racism in Dragon Age, instead of talking like focusing on like, look how grounded and real and blah 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 it might be, and then hoping that the fan base will be like, have that discussion of right and wrong and almost morality when it comes to that type of shit. Like I said, Dragon Age was the perfect example of that. And I think instead of companies being like, oh, we're going to have this whole like shop value, or like the community going to be, very, up in arm or aggressive or debatable, or, whatever it might be. I think a lot of the marketing arm have real like, nah, we just don't do that. To put like a gay flag or a transgender thing, or, a Palestinian person in the game and instant controversy, and, we don't have to, give any real thought or care to any of this stuff, because the hate wage is gonna carry the game. Once again, look what we have seen happening over the years. Example like a recent with like what happened with Devil Blade, what happened with Maconn, what happened with the whole woke ideal of Concord, the anti-woke people jumping on Concord. Like, that game died for hundreds of other reasons. And I think that also play into it, of just like, walking that line of not having to put as much thought, money, finance, skill into it, and still getting the outcome from a financial point of view. And on top of that, of like keeping the budget down, because like, yeah, like that type of shit takes so much manpower when you got like 100-hour RPG to keep track of this stuff. And I think all that come back down to like, the 360 generation, or near the end of it anyway, when, a lot of companies ended up folding because they just couldn't afford to compete anymore. Looking at you, like 90% Japanese companies.
If that makes sense. I very much like, Baldur's Gate 3, you can kill everyone. You can kill the nicest character you meet immediately. Great. Morrowind, so they should kill everyone. Yep. It even says, the thread of fate has been severed. Reload or continue in the doomed world you've made. Deus Ex, consequences. Mm-hmm. I like having consequences in RPGs, and it's very important. This is why I try and do an RPG.
Value come in
I like being an asshole in RPGs.
I'm still like, well, Josh said the asshole. I am still the person that like for example, how we were talking about Mass Effect earlier? It's like in Mass Effect, how I played Mass Effect was, I am going to be but then again, maybe this is just me in life. Maybe this is my own inner anarch coming out. I don't know. But like, of my attitude in like Mass Effect was like, I'm gonna be cool. Like, man, I'm good with all you people. But the second one of you, you know, thought like bitching and moaning about my shepherd out of the fucking blue, you know, with no tangible discussion, or they were fate wasters, they were
Let's
gone.
be honest.
They were
In
gone.
10 years, AI will be making all our video games.
Oh, they
It will
already
happen because why pay
yeah,
a
maybe
team of
not all.
100 people when AI will be so optimized by them
Yeah.
you won't need a bunch of human devs. I'm calling it now.
That is the corporate dream. Hopefully regulation. Who am I kidding? That's not fucking happening. But hopefully that won't be the case. But on the other hand, is any of it don't take 10 years? I think we will still eventually get there. A perfect example of the whole thing of how video game company didn't want you to have your games back like 20 years ago and own them.
I usually just like to
So-
test the limits at first, to see if they accounted for certain actions. Then I reload and go back to being a goody two-shoes.
I usually
Unless
just roll
it's
with
a
the
game where
punches.
it's funny to be mean.
Yeah, that's true. I usually just roll with a punch. Well, I drive Sam crazy because Sam is a safe, like a safe gummer when it comes to that stuff. And I'm over here like, oh, that now gone? I don't know. I get that means something to do when I replay the game. I'm very much roll with the punches. But yeah, what you're speaking of, Pride, is very much like the corporate ideal, what they hope happen. But once again, then we start getting into the whole arguments of like, you know, once again, no walking with saying nobody have job or money. What do capitalism look like at that point? You know, you know, taking the ideal of, you know, being like, oh, you're no longer living for your job. Yay! But no one have money. Boo. You know, we get into that whole thing, but it might take 10 years, it might take 20, it might take 30. We've seen it right now with video games of how they didn't want people to own video games back in the 90s. And we now going into 2025, where this is becoming, you know, more or less a reality fully, especially once all the console fully go digital only. But, or to keep enough up on the disc to check for a download key, and then once the server gone, it's just gone. But yeah, like I was saying, like, I did playing Mass Effect, my whole thing was just like, yeah, like, if you're cool, I'm cool. But if you're gonna talk shit with me without any cause for it, or you're a wasted asshole and outbait, like, you gone. Like, my shepherd will put you down. Because, you know, there was no room for racism in space. We escaped capitalism to space, and we're not bringing racists with us. Not happening. But that's kind of how I always play any character that give me choice. I play it like my own real-life morality. Usually.
Not because I think that's the best way to have fun in the game, but because I like to see that the game has given me the freedom to do it. When I actually play through video games, I can't be mean to the NPCs. I don't want to hurt their feelings.
I can't be mean on
But
purpose.
I like to know that
They gotta do
could,
something to me.
Because if I can't be an arse...
What up, Clyde?
You could say that, but AI is a very competitive market. Every 9me in the world is trying to get ahead in the AI field. You know how capitalism works, Troy.
Oh, I know.
They don't care about those people and their hardships. They care only for maximum profits and min-maxing every aspect of their company.
Yep. It just one of them cases of like you're not wrong, 100%, 100% Pride. It just like my like curiosity about all that though, because let's be honest, we're gonna hit that at some point. You know, like I said, it might take, you know, 10 year, 20, 30, 40 year. If something doesn't like come in and cripple that industry or put some type of handweld on that industry, and like I am so curious, like, you know, this is obviously like very bad, horrible curiosity. But it, like, I am so curious to know, like, what do that face look like? Especially if it got to the point where literally, like, 90% of the jobs are gone. You know? Like, what do you do at that point when no one had money. Because the ideal situation is everybody get enough money to meet their needs, and then they can go off and do whatever they truly desire, or go off and do stuff that will benefit them beyond the bare minimum needs. You know, like you got a house, you got food, you got clothes, but like, man, the Nikes are not doing it for me. I need some, you know, high
Looks
class,
like Troy's
whatever.
basement.
Exactly, that probably what it would look like, let's be honest. But yeah, like people are always going to be motivated to want more and more and more. So I'm just kind of curious of like, will that be the motivation to actually meet people's needs? Because of capitalism, gonna have no one to buy shit otherwise? Or is it just all gonna go collapse under its own weight? You know? Which realistically, knowing capitalism, it's probably going to go all the way up to the breaking point and then just whine to someone else saying they were the problem. Let's be honest, that's how that will probably go and into
You go
collapse.
extinct.
Maybe.
And the robots take over. Terminator shit becomes reality real quick.
That other part that might not be that far-fetched either. You know? Like I said, it's looking fucking bleak, but at the same time, it's like, I always try to find a silver lining in every horrible shit that go down, so I am curious to see where that lands. Because it's like, if capitalism have it its way, that is how it's going to end. If we keep on the same pace that capitalism want to do right now, anyway. So.
We need John Connor.
We do, don't worry about who Pride is. Pride is secretly John Connor, and he just don't realize it yet.
Asshole in the game, then me being good doesn't mean anything. Because the game is saying that I have to be good no matter what. In order for me being good to actually have weight, it needs to be in contrast to something else. That's what it needs to be.
At that point, right,
it's like, if you give players an option of responses in dialogue in a chat box, if one of them is a good option and makes you a good person, you need to have an option that makes you an arsehole, to makes you an evil person. Because if all of the replies are positive or all of the replies are negative, that's not a choice.
Yeah, I would say, well, not only that, but I would also...
Troy, have you seen the Tesla bots? I watched the presentation and the shit was actually scary. Like legit fucking freaky. It made me for the first time in my life feel like Terminator and iRobot shit could become reality. As a matter of fact. Hold. I'm fetching something.
Okay, fetch it. I saw bits and pieces of it. I know there was a lot of talk around it of like the whole thing, like, oh, it's fake. There were people controlling the robot, whatever. And like real fake, whatever AI person behind the stage with a remote control car remote. They were neat nonetheless, no matter where that falls. But from like a hardcore, like full-on belief about it, beyond just being neat, and any if it is fake, like that shit probably gonna come in handy for some YouTube videos later on, just saying. Is like, that is one of them things I would need in my hand to fully have a full-on opinion of it. Because, you know, the discussion is so all over the place. So my opinion overall was just like, that neat. Any of it fake or real or whatever, you know, it neat. I feel about that as everyone of millennial feel about the aliens that Conquest were talking about. Like, that cool. That makes sense. I get that plain window, you know, alien popping out of the ocean. Alright. So, how am I going to eat tonight? You know, like, I feel that's the same vibe I feel about that Tesla, like, robot stuff. Absolutely.
That's the game just saying, hey, this film's going to keep playing and the character has already been written. You just get to choose the flavor of response.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna comment on that. I do agree with Josh on that, because I have played a handful of games over the years, actually more than a handful, that have done that type of stuff where like no choice truly matters. You know, you do one or two like, oh god, I wish I could remember what game it was that did it where like it'd be like a pulls in. I play video games. I play all the video games, Joe. But I played a game like recently that did shit like that. Well, they'd be like, oh, can you say my dog?
Watch only the first minute or so.
Okay, I will give it a watch in a second part. Just in case Tesla. But I had played a game that done the whole like save my dog, and then it'd be like, yes, I will save your dog, and then it'd just be like, oh, thank you, thank you for saving my dog, and then you'd be like, no, I'm not saving your dog, and it'd be like, come on, save my dog, he'll $5, and then that option like, yes or no, and it just like, at the end of the day, it no like good, bad, nothing, and nothing more than like, oh, we're gonna give you like one, like maybe one description, maybe like 2 or 3 new words in the same speech, and it just continue on as is. Like there are a whole bunch of games that does that stuff, and it just like it's so annoying, you know. It like that type of stuff.
FF14 does that. The NPCs sometimes even respond to you with the exact same dialogue,
maybe
even though
14.
chose a different answer.
Yeah, maybe about 14 I'm thinking of that did that shit. But yeah, them are the ones that are also annoying, like the thought choice. Like, oh, I got 2 options, like, fuck you, or I will help you. And then literally just like, I'm sad, how about I give you money? Okay, you know, just like, it's not any a choice at that point. Also, I got that one I well played. I'll watch it in a moment.
Know. I beat the story 8 times.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's how I am about some of the older RPGs that, well, any newer RPG, because, you know, there are a handful. Like, for example, like, that shit happened in Wayfinder, because I went through that story, like, 20 times at that point. But, like, yeah, there are a lot of games that does that. Like, the whole real, like, having like the proper content, I think this is the main reason why like original Deus Ex, like Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, and believe for me why Bloodlines is my favorite game ever made, of like, you know, games like that just do not exist anymore. So yeah. Also, hang on, Jack, give me 1 second. Okay, I think Sam got it. Never mind. People were knocking at the door. But yeah.
That of the actual mechanical decision of the response. Which is why I liked Origins. Origins, a child runs up to you in the first hour of the game and says, help, my mother has been taken by bandits. And one of the responses is just, well, good luck with that. Which is great. The fact that you can just completely ignore it. You can actually actively be an asshole to this child. That's fantastic. Because then, when you turn around and say, don't worry, I will help you, you are choosing to actively be a paragon. So whenever I review an RPG game, that's what I'm looking for. How much choice do I actually have? If there are no consequences for actions, those actions are meaningless. That is a perfect way of...
Or the other version that you have the branching, and then it always come back down to the exact same point in the end.
Putting it clumsy.
That and even play it out like 3 ways. And then 2 minutes later,
as well is that Sten will say to you, I do not approve of your options, of your choices. And you can respond, I'm not doing this for your approval. And if you say that, a little pop-up comes up saying, Sten approves. Because what Sten wants is someone with spine. Someone with backbone. Sten wants a goddamn leader. And if you turn around and just do everything to appease him, he hates you. You turn around and you be a goddamn leader, Sten respects you. I appreciate that a lot.
I think you really like Dragon Age, chat. Also, that really got off subject about FOMO and went straight into talking about Dragon Age and choices of morality in gaming. And you guys say I can go all over the place.
This is my sexuality. Whatever that means, whatever this is, that this is my sexuality and my gender and my religion.
I was going to say, I was gonna say we are coming to the end of that YouTube video that I'm gonna totally upload later and slowly go insane trying to edit. I was gonna say to, of course, like always, chat. Most of you always here and always doing it. But for everybody over on YouTube, as soon as I can, maybe, hopefully, possibility, find it. There it is.
Yeah, make sure you keep hitting that like button. Like, oh.
Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe. Hit all the bells over there. Come on over to Twitch. If you want to see that 45-minute video from a 10-minute video with extra like 4-hour cut out of it, be sure to come on over to twitch.tv/Maconn. And thank you for the follow. 44. Thank you. And with that, I think we're going to look at Tesla stuff. Probably over on YouTube. Or on Twitch, I mean. So by YouTube, if you're watching it after the fact. If you're watching it live on YouTube, don't worry, we're not going anywhere. Like, favorite, and subscribe.